All right, so it's been about a week since Dnf Duel has actually launched, and I feel like it's about time for me to actually give a review on this game about how I actually feel. So my first initial impressions, my review on the overall experience that the game have gave me over this week of playing it. Starting off with the actual package, the game being at $49.99 or $50 for what it actually gives you is not a bad deal at all. So the game, of course, has its usual stuff, its arcade mode, the story mode, which goes way more in depth what I actually thought it does. And of course, having one of the more robust base rosters starting at 16. Other games don't have that many, so you know, for it to be able to take the source material and actually give us a decent sized roster off the base, rosters are a huge important thing for, I know, for especially for casual players who like don't understand the concept of like how long it takes to develop characters and stuff like that. This is definitely a nice taste of that. Then there's the rest of the modes, the gallery, and then the lore bits and stuff like that. So of course this is supposed to get people to want to try to play, I guess, DNFO, right? Or DFO. They're trying to get people to play that game. That's why they have the lore stuff. So if you care about any of the story bits that are there, they have the glossary and all that for you. And then they have some of the cool artwork showcasing some of the actual beautiful art styles that DFO has to offer. So I do like galleries and stuff like that. Just showcasing a little bit more of what the game had to offer. Of course, the characters themselves are highly unique as far as how they play. Nobody really feels the same. And yet we still get a nice high character power level game, which I feel like was missing for a little bit. You know, a lot of games have been becoming more simplified and stuff, and while we still have the simple inputs and stuff inside the game, which we'll talk about in just a second, it really feels like they are trying to have something that's a little bit more crazier on the side of things. Now, of course, the thing I gotta give DNF Duel its props for is good online rollback netcode. Now, it feels really good, almost sometimes better than Strives. Sometimes people are saying it's even better than Strives. It feels really good when it definitely works. Now, there are a few kinks and stuff like that. I know there's a few bug fixes they got to do for the lobbies, and I know PC's definitely been having some issues with certain things and stuff like that. But when you are actually inside the matches, it feels good. And of course, we've been saying it for a long time. This is just should be the standard for fighting games. So we're now finally getting what we, I guess, deserved, right? After all this time, after many years of trying to get this type of netcode inside of fighting games, it just seems like every developer is finally getting in that this is what we need. This is what fighting games need to have inside of them to be functioning. Now, talking about the gameplay itself, like I said, the characters do feel highly unique, so I do appreciate that. Every character feels completely different, and I do like the sort of straightforwardness. Like, every character feels like they're sort of meant to be in certain direction, and the tutorial really try to explain that, like, this is how this character is, this is what this character is supposed to sell at, and they tell you exactly how the tools and stuff work. So the tutorial in this game is actually very good. I do like the way they actually break down the tutorial. Not only do they have the main tutorial, you know, your basic, like, this is how you move, this is how you do those system mechanics of the game, but you could do it in the way of playing the character you want, and it just breaks down how every single move is supposed to be used. And it actually has one of the harder combo trials that I've seen in a minute for sure. The combo trials in this game are definitely nothing to mess with. If you haven't tried some of the combo trials like number 7 and 8 for some of the characters, it actually can get pretty difficult. So I do like that they're really trying to showcase the extremes of what these characters are capable of. Matter of fact, like, some of these combos are still to this day some of the combos that I actually do for some of the characters that I actually play. They're actually some pretty good combos to actually use. So most of the time when I usually see trials of games, it's usually like very suboptimal, or like don't even like showcase the combo theory correctly of like how the characters go. But I really do think they do hit the nail on the head on this one when it comes to the combo theory of the characters of this game. Like, I could go to the combo trials and be like, okay, I understand what they're trying to get me to do with this character. I understand the main game plan of this character now from looking at their moves, from looking at a few of the combo trials. Let's go in the training room and try to break some of this stuff down. And I really do like the way they did the simple inputs inside this game. Of course, the simple inputs are definitely going to be very strong, but there is going to be a downside of using the simple inputs, once again, as it always should be, right? So the manual inputs are going to make sure that your meter regenerates faster rather than doing the actual simple inputs. Now, I have been hearing people talk about the buffer issues of the game, and I have been noticing a few of it, especially if you try to do some of the inputs. If you go too fast or something like that, sometimes you'll get like a DP if you land on a down. I've done counter that before. It happens very rarely, but sometimes it do happen. I don't think it's something they're probably going to go back and like fix. I don't know, maybe. But for the most part, it is definitely a functioning system, and I do like the way it is in the game at the moment. Now, as I stated, this is definitely a very high-powered character game, so characters definitely get super strong. Now, one thing I do think was a misconception from my personal experience from the beta, I came out thinking this was going to be a very strike throw heavy game, but throws in this game just don't feel that strong, right? When you throw somebody mid-screen, you go back to neutral, and throws inside of the corner don't have that much frame advantage. The highest being +6 and the lowest being +2 for some of the characters in the game, because there is difference in frame data for actually throwing, if you didn't know. Now, another thought I had coming from the beta was this game didn't have a strong combat mechanic, but after experiencing when people get inside of Awakening this game, having access to all that meter and sometimes these supers, especially some of them just feel like they're unscaled at some points and stuff like that, you know, you can see some really crazy things happen. When you put a person in Awakening, it is like it's almost a next touch game, right? You could have them at 30%, you could be at like 80%, and all of a sudden they touch you one time and all of a sudden all of your life is going and you're just like, I die from that. It happens all the time. So having someone in that type of range is super scary, and it almost reminds me a little bit of Persona. If you ever play Persona, where there's the Awakening state, I wonder almost if the meta of this game is going to change to where people are going to try to find combos or do different routes, like lessen their routes in a little bit, to where they don't actually put the person in Awakening so they could try to kill off the next touch that they get, so they don't put the person in Awakening. It seemed like it would be a little bit harder to do it in this game in particular, because you don't have access to a super at all outside of Awakening, but it is something that I think probably will come into play. We'll have to see. I just think it's very interesting that it almost feels like you're about to lose when you put your opponent in Awakening and they somehow get back to neutral, and you know next touch is going to kill you. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just the way the game is with these high power level characters inside of this game, and it just brings forward new interesting experience that, like I said, I don't feel like we had in quite a while. I know Strive definitely has, like, you know, very high damage, but it doesn't feel like every character is like on this extreme as far as like everything they're doing. You know, the philosophy of this game almost feel like they said, okay, make every character BS. If every character BS, that's the best balance. Now, talking a little bit more about the online experience, rank matches feel absolutely good. I do like the fact that there's actual rank inside this game and not the tower system that was inside of Strive. I'm glad we didn't try to go past that, and it feels like it's a little bit more of like what Grand Blue tried to do. So you have like your basic ranks, you know, you have your bronze, your silver, your gold, and you have your diamond, and then I believe it's Terranite, and then deity being the last one. So there's an official rank system inside the game, and if you feel like, you know, you actually are progressing towards something, I do like that. And of course, if you want to fight players of a stronger level, the more you progress inside there, the higher the chances that you will be fighting players of that higher caliber that you're looking for. So, you know, if you do reach that deity level, then you'll definitely be fighting people who definitely earn that rank. You know, outside of like Celestial, like Strive, just about anybody could almost get it, you know, as long as you're a decent player and stuff like that, or you can dodge people and stuff like that. There's no dodging in this outside of you have to play at least the first game and stuff like that. So, you know, you do have to earn it. And then of course, it is a little bit brutal when you got to do those final challenges where it's like you got to win 4 out of 5 matches and stuff like that to get some of these challenge ranks and stuff like that. So it is really crazy, really challenging, but they want to make sure that you are there or you are prepared for the level that you're about to go to, because once you get there, it's letting people know that, hey, you reached this rank and these are like the top players of the rank system at the moment. The lobby system is just that, a lobby system. There are some functionality issues, like there's sometimes where I go inside of one lobby and then all of a sudden it just puts me in another random lobby that I didn't actually search for, and yeah, weird things like that. I do wish we had different colors for the lobby avatars. You know, it's cool that, you know, we could have the lobby avatars from the characters and stuff like that. I did want that back in Strive, but we didn't get it. But I do just want like the slight different color variations that we have. They've done it in all their other games. Like, you know, you could do it in Dragon Ball Fighters. I'm pretty sure you could do it in Grand Blue versus, or not Grand Blue. Yeah, Grand Blue. Yeah, you could do it in Grand Blue as well. And Guilty Gear had like a little bit of a difference. I don't think you could pick the characters like a little different or whatever. But yeah, basically, I just want the colors back inside the game. Overall, it's been a great experience so far. I cannot wait to see more of what the tournament scene has to offer for this game. When this game first came out, I did a day 1 tournament and I won that. And of course, there's been plenty of other tournaments. Of course, we'll start to see the tier list era start to come and start to see exactly who people start to think are the best characters inside this game. But at the moment, you know, a lot of characters feel very strong and a lot of characters have their own BS, and people are just finding plenty of more tech and stuff like that for some of these characters. Some of the characters obviously feel like they're stronger than others, but it feels like everyone can at least compete inside this game, and that's the best feeling. Anyway, this game has been a blast to play for the past week. I've been having a lot of fun. I haven't even touched Strive within the last week. I'll definitely be hopping on Strive again once in a while, but this game has definitely just been a breath of fresh air, just having a brand new experience for one, and just bringing back that creativity that I felt like was missing from my fighting game experience in the past year. So I definitely keep playing Dnf Duel for sure. I cannot wait to see exactly what the DLC listing is going to be for this character. Surely we got to have some, right? Like they're not going to just have this game like this and then not have some DLC. I want to see how they're going to balance this game and just overall the future of this game. I want to see and experience it. I hope everything is for the better. Anyway, that's it for my week review of DNF Duel. Let me know how you guys feel about the game so far. Are you enjoying the game? How do you feel about the actual character strengths? How do you feel about the game system mechanics and stuff like that for the game? Do you feel like things are too strong? Do you feel like things are too weak? What about some characters? Let me know how you guys feel all down in the comments below. As always, like anything I had to say, drop me a like, I greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Dyken, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.